Alright, I guess we are live now, huh? Alright. The only thing that sucks is that, I can't play any music because of copyright crappy shit. But as you can see, I'm wearing my Kiss shirt that I have. Uh, the view looks a little better, but yeah, let's do this. Um, Hey yo! Collection first here. Uh oh. Yeah, you heard that again. Notifications on my phone. I gotta turn off the notifications so that you guys don't hear when I get one. So, but I'm live. Hopefully, some people will show up in here. Uh, Backwards. There's another one. Ain't that about a you know what? Anyways, uh, doing the record reveal thing here. Let me mute that too. Um, I'm not gonna be on very long. I'm just gonna show you guys. Oh, that was real nice, huh? Put that in the video. My record collection so far, um, kind of sucks because I can't even have any background music because they'll tell me that, copyrighted shit, whatever. So, anyways, this is the first thing that I want to show everybody. Still factory sealed. This is from 2018. This is the 40th year anniversary of the solo records. Kiss, Paul, Gene, Ace, and Peter. 40 years. And as you can see, it's still factory sealed. Never opened. Never played. Never messed with. Each of these vinyl records are the colors of the actual colors of what they were, the solo albums. So Paul's record is obviously purple. We got a blue light here, so we can't really see it too good. But Gene Simmons was red. Um, Ace Frehley's was blue, and Peter Chris's color was green. And each of these colors are the colors of the actual records. As you can see, I do have the original solo albums that from 1978. These are the original solo albums. I am trying my hardest to collect all of the Kiss albums again, so that I can have them. Because I used to have every album, every tape, cassette tape, and every CD. So I'm just trying to collect some things again so I can have them back again. This, I've had all three of these albums, but I've never had this specific album. This is the originals that came out with the three original. All three albums are actually in this one set. They actually came out with an originals 2, which has Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun, a little box set like this. So I have the originals, which is all three albums in one box set. So, I mean, I got a pretty good deal on that. I have the original 1976, 73, 74, 75, yeah, 76 a live album. As you can see, it's pretty worn, of course, because it's an original album. But in buying records, I always check to actually see how good they are. And these came out, these albums look really, really good. I was surprised because I'm very specific on what I buy. And if you guys want to hear a funny story of how I got into Kiss, it was actually pretty funny. I was hanging out with a couple of my friends usually from school. You know, we were doing everything underneath the sun, drinking and whatnot, and whatever we can get our hands on. And we would listen to like Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Dio, Rainbow, uh, King Diamond. You know, real hardcore stuff. I mean, that's what we were into. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Dio. Back in those days, you know, we were just like really into, you know, the harder stuff. Um, but growing up in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, when the 80s came, no matter what you listen to, I don't care if you listen to Slayer was another group. Um, Groups that you know, speed metal, Ozzy Osbourne, like I said, Black Sabbath, Dio, ACDC, bands like that. We were always listening to, and I was the type of kid when I was on my own to go to the library and thumb through some albums that the library had. I would take the records home and I would uh, put them on cassette tape. I would record them. I had a nice big stereo. I put them on cassette tape and I would take the records back to the library, put them back in the, give them back to them, and then I would have the albums on cassette. So I'd never have to borrow it again. Well, one day, I think I was maybe about 10, it was probably 1983. I was at the library thumbing through some albums and I came across this. And I was thinking, wow, clowns on stage with guitars and stuff. That's neat. I was 10 years old. So I found this record sitting in the bin and I took it home and the first song I ever heard was Deuce. You know, I played it straight through. Deuce, Strutter, Got to Choose, Hotter Than Hell, Firehouse. I was like, wow, that is really kind of cool. Side 2 I put in, Nothing to Lose, Come On and Love Me, Parasite, and She. And I was like hooked. I couldn't wait to get to the second album. I put in side 3, which was Watching You, 100,000 Years in Black Diamond. Black Diamond blew me the hell away. Like, just incredible. And then I played side 4, Rock Bottom, Cold Gin, Rock and Roll All Night, and Let Me Go Rock and Roll. And, like, I was just like, this was like my favorite ultimate album. So I found Kiss on my own. So, what did I do? I started it over again. And I would listen to this album like 4 or 5 times. Both sides, both albums, 4 or 5 times I would listen to it. Then I never put it on tape. I would just listen to the record. I never put it on tape. So I took it back to the library and I rechecked it back out again. And I listened to it like all weekend and all week. And I would listen to it for like 2 weeks in a row. And this was like the only album I was ever listening to. I took it back to the library. Now this went on like 3 or 4 times. I would take it home, reissue it out, take it home, listen to the records, take it back to the library, check it out again, and I would never put it on tape. Finally, the fourth time, the album just kind of never found its way back to the library. I wound up keeping it and never putting it on tape. So I that was my first Kiss album that I had. I legally didn't own it, but I still had it. So I thought I would go to the record store and see if I could look up. Well, I had two words I could look up: Alive or Kiss. So went back to I went to a store. We had a Sears store, Sears and Roebuck Foundation store, and they had a bunch of cassette tapes and record albums and everything and stuff. And I went to the record album and I walked past and I saw Kiss. And I was like, is that what I was listening to before? So I found the first album, I found the second album, and I found the third album. So I bought those and listened to those, and I was hooked. And all my friends and stuff would laugh at me because I liked Kiss. I don't know. They would all, what the hell is Kiss? You know, because everybody else, all my friends were like Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and, you know, Metallica. And when I liked Kiss, everybody was like, Kiss is stupid. But anyways, then I have the original Destroyer from 77, 78. I think, wait, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. This should be 77, 78, 79, but I don't think it is because they did 78 was the solo albums. So anyways, I have Destroyer, and I have Rock and Roll Over, and I have Love Gun. And these are great looking albums. You can see, I'll take one out. These are really great looking albums because I'm very, very specific on what I buy. And, you know, I have to see pictures and I have to see everything that the person has to offer. And they also offered this, which does not have a record in it because you don't want to ruin the insert. So the record is actually in a white plain protector, and the record really looks awesome too. I love listening to records. To me it's a lot better than digital. It always has been, always will be. So these records are really awesome, and I can't express that anymore than I can. My daughter's gonna be home in about 10-15 minutes or so from school, so but these are really awesome albums. So I've been trying to collect my records again. I'm trying to get my hands on some. You saw the 4 single albums, the solo albums, and then during that time they also released the double platinum album, which I have that one too. So the double platinum album, it looks pretty good. I could probably use another one or something. I don't know. And then I just bombarded myself with a couple more because I found them. I bought these in a pack. Someone was selling them. So I am missing like a bunch of albums. I don't have Creatures of the Night, but here's Lick It Up. It looks great. One of my all-time favorite albums is Lick It Up. And here is Asylum, which came out after Lick It Up. And then, of course, Crazy Crazy Nights, which I kind of remember having this album, but I think it was more CD that I had on this album. So I never really had. I don't think I ever really got the record. That was from 1988. Now, there is another collection that I have down below. If I can just get them out of here, then I would listen to a lot a lot of records because um, music was all around us all the time. I'm grabbing some of them here. I don't know if I have all the ones that I want, but we'll see. Uh, we'll see what happens here. Okay, so, alright. When I was a kid, there was a couple records that I had that I kind of sort of never. I mean, I would listen to a little bit. Okay, I got the ones I want. For now. Anyways, I found a brand spanking new. Not even opened yet. Let's see here. I gotta go and get these out real quick. Yep, I found a brand new. Wait a minute. I would like to collect albums again because I like records. And it's been a long time since I've actually had records, you know. But music was all around. I mean, all around. And you couldn't, I don't care if you listen to the most heaviest stuff on the entire planet. There's stuff that you just could not get away from in the 80s. Like, New Edition, breakdancing, the Jets, um, the Pointer Sisters. I don't care if you listen to Slayer or, one of that kind of groups, which I did. Um, you just couldn't get away from Michael Jackson and Prince and, that type of stuff that was going on. So, it was everywhere. It was completely everywhere. So, and you couldn't escape it. It had a good beat, and it was wonderful. It was, wonderful groups. I mean, I never got into like Menudo or something like that. Um, but it just so happens that I found some great records. Now I got uh, Night Songs, which is still factory sealed, not even open. I love this album. It's a great album. It's a great record. Uh, but my variations went, far back. My variations went. I listened to music. It was just a thing I did. And, everything at the time caught my eye. I was born, before. I'm not saying I'm old, but I grew up watching Grease and Saturday Night Fever. Welcome Back, Cotter. Mark and Mindy. That type of stuff. It was, you know, you couldn't get away from pop culture, no matter how hard you tried. This was one of my all-time favorite albums of all time. It's Whitesnake's Love Hunter. And the artwork on here is really, really cool. The whole album, to me, is a masterpiece. This was not the first time I ever heard Whitesnake, but when I found this album, I just, fell in love with it from 1978. Um, the first time I ever heard Whitesnake, of course, was the self-titled Whitesnake album. This is the one with Here I Go Again, Still of the Night. Hello, whoever is watching. But the first time, of course, I ever heard, uh, oh, chat visible. Let's see, I don't know. Nobody says hi yet, so. Um, but I have one watching. Now, I found this. Um, this is a silver vinyl with red swirls, okay? So it's not the original album. All the original albums were black, obviously. But I found a sealed up Blizzard of Oz. Obviously, it's like the original album. I hated those new versions of the Ozzy albums that came out. I didn't buy them. I didn't want them. I thought the covers sucked. Those new ones that came out, I think they were like in the 90s. The CDs, they had like the album cover like in the middle of the CD, and then around it was like purple lightning bolts or rods or swirls or string and streamers or some shit. It was on the record. I hated those albums. Like the No More Tears had like yellow streamers around it, and like the No More Tears CD had like purple or something streamers around. I didn't like those at all. Those albums, I love the albums. I just didn't like the way they redid them and came out with them. Now this is an original Diary of a Madman. This is not a purple, pink, or weird swirl record. This is an actual black vinyl record, an actual from 1982, I believe. No, 81. 81, 82, I don't know, I forget. But this was the last album that Randy Rhoads made with Ozzy, and um, because he took a nosedive in a plane, he had his pilot license and everything. Um, the story I heard was that this one I have to take out because I have to show you guys. I hate records that have like the imprint on the cover of the record, like the round circle. The album is so damn old that it actually puts a round circle on the cover. I hate that. It bothers the hell out of me, and it destroys the album to me. And I found a couple of them like that. But this was the most I ever paid for an album in my life. But I had to have this album because this album was a treasure to me. It was special to me. I had this album the day it came out. The one I had never hit the shelves. I got this album like immediately when it came out, and this came out during the uh, Ultimate Sin album, and Jakey Lee had a fit because Ozzy wanted to release this album, but the tribute to Randy Rhoads. And look, no album swirl. There's nothing on it. This is clean. This is the best uh, tribute album I've ever seen. Look, there's no swirl on it. There's no album swirl. There's no like oldness to it. The inside looks so great, and all the pictures are there and everything. The albums look sweet too. I played it once. I didn't want to, but it's open, and I did want to. I wanted to listen to it again, and it's got both original sleeves in it. I mean, I paid like $90 or something for this album, but about $100 for it. But this is the most I ever spent in my life for an album because I really wanted this back. There were other ones that I found online, but they had like the albums, the records, the like the worn look. It really had like a worn look to the record, and it just looked bad. And I wanted a record that didn't have all that wear and tearness to it, that actually looked good, that actually had a great look to it. Because I always take care of my albums and I make sure that they're clean and that they're not looking so worn. I keep them covered, I keep them in packages, I keep the albums tilted upward with the seal on it and stuff. So then I found an original Too Fast for Love album with the factory sticker on it. Awesome. And it is open. I've never taken this out yet. It's Too Fast for Love, but they kept the hyper sticker on it. And all they did, a lot of times what you could do with albums is just like take your thumbnail and just run it down the side. That way everything still stays on the record and you can still play it. And this is, I believe, a black original vinyl record. Yes, it is. Wow, look at that. Look how clean it is. It's so nice. I've never had this record as a kid. I always had like tapes and, CDs started in like the late 80s, early 90s. I never really had a lot of records and stuff. Now I can't find the opening to this thing. Okay, this sucks. Because I can't find the opening. Where is the opening? Oh, you know what? No, that don't work either. It's like staticky or something. It doesn't want to open now. Sucks. Anyways, I had all of the Motley Crue CDs, all of the cassette tapes. There we go. Now we got it. Got a good split paper now, I think. Or something. There's something in here that splits. It's hard to find now. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and waste my time and waste your time either. I want to get to the rest of the records because it has to have a split here because I didn't see any of the record until I took it out. Something, dude. Seriously. Anyways, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. I have not listened to this yet, but it's heavy. It's real heavy. It feels like it's almost on acetate or something. Which acetate was a lot better for records. And this is in a sleeve that was somebody gave me an extra sleeve because you don't want to ruin what comes in the record, which is the lyrics sheet, which is the actual sleeve. You don't want to throw the album inside there and wind up tearing it, wind up ripping it apart. So I'm old school. I love Whitesnake, Motley Crue, Poison. I got into, along with Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Dio. I was still a huge Rat fan. Poison, Kiss, Motley Crue. A lot of people didn't like all that hair metal shit or whatever they were doing. I had friends that were strictly King Diamond, that were strictly, you know, Dio and Sabbath, and I got into all that stuff too, and Slayer and all that stuff. But I found my own way. There's nothing wrong with that, finding your own way. I listened to all that stuff, but I also listened to Kiss and Rat and Poison, and I just liked that music. It was just, hyper. I wanted to move down to LA. It was so, as a kid, I wanted to go to LA because it was so hype back then. But nowadays, I mean, people say that rock music sucks now. Nowadays, not really, because like you have to understand. I mean, I still love music that comes out today, and here's proof. Linkin Park, what Chester did was just horrible. But I have the Hybrid Theory album. I hear my daughter. Hybrid Theory album. This is a exclusive Walmart limited edition red vinyl record. Still factory sealed. Not even open. And then like 2000, 2001, when rock really started hitting the airwaves again, there was Evanescence. And I have the first album. This is a limited edition silver vinyl record. It's a silver, still factory sealed, not even open.
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, dear. How was school today?
Hi.
What is this?
It's a hoodie from Mr. Zala.
You got a hoodie from your teacher?
They let me borrow it because, the hoodie I left in, they're washing it at the school because, something happened with it.
What happened to it? What? You don't want? What's the matter? Come on, guys, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Stay there. What happened? It's a brand new hoodie. What happened to it?
During lunch, we had these, oil brown pudding cups. And when we were lighting up to go back upstairs, the two boys, messing around with it, and one of them knocked it, out of the other boy's hand, and it dropped, and it hit, and it completely got in my back, and in my head.
They got pudding all over your hoodie. How are they washing it at the school? There's no wash machines there. Shit. Oh my god, that shit better come out.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Whatever. Punch the boy. Beat the boy up. I'm almost done here anyways. I gotta get done here.
I'm sorry.
Anyways. Hey, look, it's a glass effect. Oh yeah, I have a paper that you didn't take. I don't know what was that last paper you gave me. What is this, a field trip?
We're going bowling.
Going bowling? How cool is that? Do I have to pay anything?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay. I'm almost done. I gotta get done anyways. Because I have a meeting in a half an hour, so. Anyways, I'm back. Hello. And if you're a stupid admin watching me, right there to you. Because admins suck. You never know who's watching you. Because they're hiding behind their computers or their tablets or whatever. And they're hiding and they're just watching you like stalkers. Admins suck. Anyways. Remember on my last video I told you guys that we used to get albums and records or whatever for Christmas, and I told you guys that there's something on here. You're fine. Just watch TV. Just don't be too loud just yet. There's something on my record and I don't like it. Anyways, that we used to get records for Christmas. And on my last video, I told you guys that I got ACDC's For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. And my sister got that Twisted Sister album that I wound up stealing after listening to my album 100 times. But I had to get it. I've been collecting things that I used to have when I was younger. This is just such an awesome album, and I'm so glad I have it back. So, I have it. It's right here. Awesome album, by the way. Totally awesome. If you haven't heard it yet, you need to hear it. You need to listen to it. It's such an awesome album. And of course, because I stole my sister's after I wasn't done listening to my record, but I just wanted her record too. Because she really didn't like this music like I like this music. So, I have the AC/DC For Those About to Rock, and I also have Twisted Sisters Come Out and Play. Look at. That is so awesome. This is the only record I've ever seen do this. This design was so cool. And I love this album. I should actually find a plastic case for it and put that in there so that just so that it doesn't get bent or wrecked or whatever, because I don't want it wrecked. A record I really got into because it was, I shouldn't say this online, but it was the year I was born and I don't freaking care. But the very first 1973 Aerosmith album with Dream On. But actually, the first album I ever heard from Aerosmith was the Greatest Hits album. It wasn't this one. It was the Greatest Hits album. Another friend of mine had that along with, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, and Lies. So we would play the Greatest Hits album, and they had like all the hits on it before the current albums. So Dream On is on this one. So is Mama Kin. And one time I got this record, and I listened to the whole thing, and it's really a masterpiece. It really seriously is a masterpiece. Total masterpiece. I mean, they got songs on here that they'll never sing this way ever again. I mean, Steven Tyler, I think, was still trying to find his voice. He was just singing, but he was still trying to find his voice, his sound. 1973 original black vinyl Aerosmith record. And it's got Make It, Somebody, Dream On, Walking the Dog, Moving Out, Mama Kin. I mean, this album is a true masterpiece. Then, of course, I had to get a little crazy. Everybody was listening to Anthrax and Caught in the Mosh, and we were jumping off of stages into mosh pits and everything and stuff. Then they decided to do their own little thing and make fun of, poke a little fun at, rap and hip hop and make fun of hip hop because hip hop was coming out at that time. You couldn't get away from that either. I mean, LL Cool J, Ice Cube, NWA. You couldn't get away from that stuff. It was all up in your face. Run DMC, especially when Run DMC teamed up with Aerosmith and did their duet version of Walk This Way. You could not get away from it. You couldn't run away from it. As fast as you could run, you could not run away from it. So I liked Caught in a Mosh, I Am the Law, uh, you know, Spreading the Disease. Freaking Anthrax was hard. Then they came out with the I'm the Man EP. And it was just funny as hell. As you can see, they're all wearing Adidas clothes. Well, you really can't see it, but they're all wearing Adidas clothes, Adidas shoes. They're wearing like hats backwards and sideways. And Scott Ian was just a crazy MFer. He was just a crazy dude. And it was really kind of funny. And when I found this album, when I found this record, I was like, oh my God, I've never had this record before, but I had to have it because it's part of, you know, my childhood and stuff and everything. So I had to have it because this record is the most funniest thing. And plus, you'll never ever hear it again. But at the very, very beginning of the song, I'm the Man, is Sam Kinison's scream. You'll never hear that again. Sadly, as we all know, if you're around my age, Sam Kinison passed away. Died, got killed by a fan. How weird is that? It's the same thing with John Lennon. And the anniversary of his death is coming up December 8th. He was shot to death by a fan. It's just sad how that shit happens to people, but I have the I'm the Man. Now, we're gonna go through, on another video, I'm gonna go through a case of mine that I have that nobody will ever touch. No, I will never play those records. I will never open those records. Every one of them is factory sealed. They will never be played. They will never be opened. If they are ever sold, they will be just sold as is. But this is basically, you know, my kid's inheritance. I have the very first Bon Jovi records. The self-titled 78 Degrees Fahrenheit, Slippery When Wet, and the New Jersey albums, sealed and locked up, factory sealed and never opened, never ever opened. So I had to buy me a set that was open so I could play them. And when I ordered this album, I kind of forgot that I ordered it, and I was waiting so long for the record to come, like it would never come. Like I waited weeks for it to come. And so I ordered another one. And when I ordered the second, this is the first one I ordered that never came, dude. This is a 180 gram vinyl record. It's Mercury. This is the album I had. As you see, the label is Mercury. Yeah, I can't probably hardly see because I got this blue light on me now. It's starting to get dark, so everything's turning blue. Mercury, you see the record? And then, so when I got this album second, and I ordered it first. But I did order another one because I was just waiting for it, and I wanted to hear the record, and I wanted to listen to the record. And I love these records, and I also have these records. I think I have them on CD, or I had them on CD. I lost a lot of shit. I had them on CD, but you know, I've got my iTunes and everything, so my iTunes is just full of every album imaginable. We'll go through some of that later. On my iTunes, I probably have over like something like 3,000 albums. No joke, I'm not kidding. Then this one came, finally, the one I originally ordered, and I did not realize because the person did not put in the description. I knew it was a used record. Hear that? Hear that? I hope so. This is an original release. Look at the label. This was Mercury's first original label. It doesn't look like the other one. This is the original label to the very first released self-titled Bon Jovi record. This is, the record looks great. The album looks a little kind of shoddy. It has the original sleeve in it, and this, so I have two of them now. Two of them that I can play, but this one I probably don't want to play at all because it's the original label. It's the first release pressing of this album. It's the very first, but as you can see, the corner is a little muffed up, you know, it's a little muffed up. And so I have the original, very first press release of this album. And you can tell because of the label, the Mercury label on it, which is the very, very first pressing of this album. Then when they changed their labels, they released it again. So I have both records now. So, which is okay to me. First pressing and the new pressing when they changed their label. Then I also have the 78 degrees Fahrenheit, which I can play, which I don't mind playing at all because I love vinyl. I have the Slippery When Wet album. And I have the New Jersey album. So I have, literally have all four of these albums. Now when 2000 rolled around, like I said, I got into, I only got like 15 minutes left, guys. But I really got into Evanescence, Disturbed, Nickelback, when those guys rolled around, and I found this, so I bought this. This is the original release of the Indestructible album. It's a double record set. And there's only like 3 sides. There's two records in here, so the 4th side of this record doesn't play at all. There's nothing on it. You know, there's record 1, record 2, you know, so there's side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. Side 4 has absolutely nothing on it. There's nothing recorded. It's a completely blank album. I have not listened to it yet. I'm not afraid to. I just have not opened it yet. Awesome, phenomenal. How can anybody forget Europe? If you see the final countdown. I hate this blue light, but I don't know where else to put my phone. There we go. Well, maybe we'll do this. Get a little bit more light in here, maybe, huh? So you can see it. The final countdown. I mean, anybody that was alive in the 80s would walk down the street and it was so freaking annoying. Because, like, you couldn't, like, your head would just go, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. It doesn't matter what song you were thinking of or what song was in your head at the time. I mean, we just were getting Walkmans and stuff. You know, with cassette tape Walkmans that we could actually record a bunch of songs on and then go for a walk or whatever and put on our headphones. But before then, we had nothing. We couldn't take any music with us. We had, big ass boom boxes that we could carry on our shoulders or have with us or whatever. Big ass boom boxes and stuff we had. But, Mr. Microphone uh, and Walkmans and stuff were just starting to come around. So we really couldn't like go for a walk until then. And when the Walkmans came out, everybody had them. Everybody would record their records and go for a walk, and or wherever they were going over to a friend's house or whatever and stuff. We would just disappear for hours back then, and we could go wherever we wanted to. But didn't matter what you were listening to in the back of your mind, you always heard that damn the beginning keyboard to Final Countdown. It was just there in your head. Once you heard it, it never left. Awesome, 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 awesome. Had to have this album back. Quiet Riot, Metal Health. I don't have mental health. I have mental health. So that's the difference. For all of us that used to bang our heads and shake our damn rat's nest like a pom-pom, because that's what we would do. I mean, our hair was big. You should have seen what I looked like in the freaking 80s and stuff. Sandy would always tell me, you need to cut your hair. No, 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 no. And my hair was curly, looked like I had an afro. I swear to God, my hair was so black and curly and long, and it looked like a big old pom-pom on my head. So we would go to concerts and we would shake our pom-poms. I better not do that anymore, though, because my head would probably roll off and hit the floor. But Metal Health, my son loves this album. My son is into this. He loves this album like so much. My kids listen to my music, and some of them get into it. I mean, my son really, really gets into this. He loves the old school rock. Come on, feel the noise, and bang your head, and Metal Health will drive you mad. And I think my kids each took a part of me, because my music is so deranged. It's crazy. Like, oh wow, what's that? Looks a little blurry. Like, what's happening to my face? Like the light just, I don't know, man. All right, we'll turn that off. Anyways, like half of me went into my son, the other half went into my daughter. Because my son is all like Disturbed, Nickelback, Evanescence, Avril Lavigne, Quiet Riot, Cinderella, Dio. My son loves all that stuff. My daughter, on the other hand, is like Michael Jackson. Some Prince. Some Prince.
I will bite you.
But she's like the hee of me,
Do
you
not
know?
talk about me, you balding.
Yeah, shush, behave. But like, she doesn't get into rock too much, unless if I'm listening to it, she hears a song that she likes or whatever. You know, this is an awesome album, and I had it when I was younger, and so I had to get it back. It is Styx, Paradise Theater. This is the best Styx album ever, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. Paradise Theater, great album. Too much time on my hands. I mean, yeah, Kilroy Was Here is also a phenomenal album, but nobody can touch Paradise Theater. But okay, you know, and I think that it comes along with liking a big, gigantic genre of music, and both of my kids each took a part of it. So my daughter's all like Michael Jackson, and she's like the pop princess, if you will, and my son is the rock and roller. So I gotta get out of here for now because I got a meeting in about 8 minutes. So I have to go. So check out my video. I'm sorry that there wasn't a lot of people in here. There was absolutely nobody in here. But then again, I should be used to that.